Hello everyone, my name is Leonep. Welcome back to DIY Beauty on Purpose. Today I have for you some really cool DIY easy farmhouse decor that I know you're going to love, so let's get started. We are going to start with this wooden wreath form that I got at the Target dollar spot. I am going to change the little sawtooth hook from the back, and I'm going to put it on the other side because I want the planks of the wood to be sideways instead of vertically. That's why you see me doing that there. So now I'm going to take this Dollar General ornament. It's a snowflake wooden ornament and it's beautiful, but I'm going to remove the piece and all the decor from it. I'm going to sand it down smooth as well because I want to give it two coats, or not, I just give it one coat of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. And that's because I'm going to place it right in the center of that wreath form. I just thought it would be so beautiful for winter. You know, keep that in mind when you have decor, when you're pulling them down. Keep in mind what can you keep that can go right into winter by adding maybe a couple things here and there. So once again, I'm just going to give it one coat and let it fully dry. Now I'm going to place the ornament, like I said, right in the center of that wreath form. I'm going to use the little jute twine that came with it, and I'm going to attach it on the back of it. That way it's hanging, and I'm just going to staple it in place. I'm going to add some lamb's ear to the top. I'm just going to create a little swag for the top of the wreath form. I love lamb's ear, especially for winter, because it just has that natural frosted look. And I do love the greenery, so I'm just going to add a couple here. I got these at Walmart. And I'm just going to, I stapled the first one, but the second one wasn't stapling, so I'm just going to hot glue them in place. And then I'm going to add a couple things, a pine cone, a little cotton stem, and just some stick, what are they called? Oh, I think they're called kitten tails or cat tails that came on the same pick as the cotton stem. And I'm just going to hot glue them in place. That way it just adds a little bit more fullness and just some different tones and textures. And then to finalize things, I did take some burlap ribbon from burlapfabric.com. I'm going to have their link down in the description box. They have beautiful, beautiful burlap ribbons and burlap everything. I'm going to make a very simple bow, and I'm just going to hot glue it right above the little swag there. And that's it, guys. This was such an easy one. And again, such a beautiful little wreath to put over your fireplace, over anywhere, really. It just turned out so, so cute. A piece of a leftover big panel that I have used over and over again. This is my final little piece, and it had already this size. I'm just going to give all the edges 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white and let it dry. I then going to take this scrap piece of drop cloth, and I am going to fold it in half and then just measure how big I want to freehand a heart. Now, I first measured the piece of paneling to make sure that the heart's going to be the size that I need it to be. Once I had 2 dots and where I wanted the heart to start and end, I am now going to freehand a heart and then cut it.
Look out, here she comes, the woman that I love. It's too bad she'll never know. Yeah, I can't tell her how I feel, because she has someone who makes her happy.
Alright guys, so now I'm going to take 2 dusting mops from the Dollar Tree and I am going to cut another heart using both of these and using the original heart to use as a guide. I want the first thing I want is the dusting mop heart to be the same size, but then I'm going to cut it 1 inch shorter or smaller than the original heart. But here, as you can see, I'm just cutting using the original heart. And then I am going to glue the 2 pieces together with hot glue.
Or at least I try to be. 'Cause I hope that I'm not showing how I feel for her, but she won't feel the same for me. I've got this picture in my mind. It's just the 2 of us. Just the 2 of us. But I know
now that both pieces of the dusting mops are joined together, I am going to now cut, like I said, about 1 inch into the edge. So just 1 inch smaller heart. That way, when I place it on top of the drop cloth heart, as you can see, it is just shorter and you can still see the drop cloth. So here I'm just placing it on top and I'm still trimming to make sure that I have the size and that it's nicely groomed. I then sanded down the board. As you can see, I wasn't looking for perfection. I am looking to just have a farmhouse look. I am now going to hot glue the drop cloth heart to the center of the board and then hot glue the dusting mop or the white heart and now on top of the drop cloth heart.
Try to let her go, because she won't be mine. I listen when she talks, I watch her when she walks. She's giving me these feelings that I've never felt before, but she will never know that I love her so well. She's with somebody else and I will have to let her go. She will never know.
And we are just about done with this one. I contemplating adding a little bit more of something, but I wasn't quite sure. And I often, when I question myself, I always opt to just keep it in the simple. So there it is. Beautiful Valentine's Day decor, very neutral, and it would go in any home beautifully.
It's like she stole my heart.
Alright, so for this next DIY, I'm going to take this Target dollar spot tree. Isn't it beautiful just the way it is? But it was just missing a little something, so I'm not going to do much to it. I will take some of that same chalk paint from Rust-Oleum and the linen white, and I'm going to trim or just kind of add a little bit of what it would look like snow or frost that it's been falling on this tree, just to kind of give it more of a wintry look. I'm going to focus on the edges. At first, I was just going to do very little, and then you're going to see that I start adding a little bit more. Sometimes I add little and then add as I go. That way I know for sure is what I want to see on the items. And that's just what I'm going to do to the actual tree portion of it.
Give me love, give me all your love, oh, 'cause I want you. No one else makes me feel this way, don't know what you do. Hold my hand, could you hold my hand, look me in the eyes. You and me, yeah, that's all I need, and I'll be.
So I just got that heat gun, guys, and I love it. I saw Heidi Sambo use one, and I was like, that is so smart because, you know, sometimes it just takes forever for something to dry. So I do have it in my Amazon store. I have all my tools, my scissors, everything that I use, or most things that I use on my Amazon store, and it is linked down in the description box. All right, so this is a Dollar Tree dusting mop, and I'm just going to place it. I'm going to cut a piece to fit the front and the back of the tree. I just want it to look like it's sitting in a bed of snow. And I do want it to overlap over the edges. So I made sure that it has about an inch just overflowing kind of thing. And I'm going to add hot glue and attach it that way. Again, one to the front and one to the back.
I'll be right here. I swear that I'll stay here with you. Hold me closer. I wanna stay here with.
And I did trim the back one just a little bit so that it matches the form of the front one. It has that natural like circle look, and I really like that, so I just wanted to keep the same form. All right, so moving along, I'm just going to add a couple of picks here. This large pick, it's a frosted berry pick I got during when I was purchasing everything for Christmas for decor and DIYs at the Dollar General, and I just thought these would be perfect for winter, so I grabbed a couple of them, and I'm just going to add a couple small ones to the front of the tree. I just thought it needed a little something to it, so I'm just going to hot glue a couple on each, kind of like on each side on the front, and that's it for this one. Another beautiful, and how easy was this? Seriously. I mean, the tree was beautiful as is, but I think adding just a little bit more to it just took it to the next level. And it's so easy for just $3 and some change with the extra little things we added. It's just adds so much character, and I think it would be perfect for any winter decor.
All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. Be who you are and you'll be enough. If you're giving me your love, giving me your love. All that we have is each other now. Promise you won't leave my side. I hope who I am is enough.
DIY, I am going to begin using one of these little boxes from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to use the top of it. I am going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. I should have measured before I painted it, so I'm just going to take another one of those boxes and measure. And then I'm going to take 2 painter sticks, and I'm going to cut 4 pieces of it to measure very similar to what the little box top measured to. Once I had the 4 pieces cut, I am going to hot glue them and staple them into a square.
Sailors passing on the street, are you ready for peace? Ships are filling up fast, are you ready for ease? Forget bad memories and leave those hurting knees behind.
Using my wire cutters, I am now going to trim off the excess staple that came through on the other end. It's not like anything's going to be touching it. I just want it to look a little cleaner. And then I gave it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white as well.
Birds are filling up the sky, are you willing to try?
I am now going to take these bamboo little wood sticks, 1.5 inches from both sides. I marked, made a straight line on both sides, and now I'm using my wood little dowel clippers here and cutting them to size. Again, these clippers, I do have them in my Amazon store as well. After I had them all cut, it's time to put things together. We're making a little lantern. So I'm going to start hot gluing them. I'm going to start with corners, then center, and then 2 in the center of each side. You're going to see what I'm talking about. And I did that on all 4 sides.
Sing along as they hum and be fulfilled. Many more will come
Then it's time to add the top portion. I just basically started very carefully placing it until it was completely inside. I did end up trimming a couple of the wood pieces here and there as needed, just to ensure that they're as even as possible. And then hot glued all the pieces to the top part.
Steady, we will be the confetti. If we fail, we just reboot.
To make it look very clean, I am going to add one more of those little wood sticks. I am going to measure just using pretty much my pencil and then clipping them and then hot gluing them until all 4 top edges are done.
Grass is greener on this side. Are you ready for new? New beginnings, new pride. Let your spirit shine through. Many more come, many more under the sun. Pack your finest suit, and we will keep it steady. We will be the confetti, and if we fail, we
I'm going to take some nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, clip the ends to make sure that they are nicely, just straight cut. Then I'm going to hot glue them to the side, making sure that the edge of the top is flush with the edge of the rope, and I'll do that on the other side as well.
Nothing can hold us back. Oh, nothing.
I got this set of candles. They're like power candles, like full candles. And I'm going to use one of the smaller ones, put it right in the center, and then add some greenery just to add a little bit of color. And that's it, guys. I think this little lantern looks so high-end. It could go in any decor, and I think it's absolutely stunning. Here in my garage, my messy garage, and I have these legs that I took off of a old sewing machine table, and I recently used the top to make a sign, and then the rest of the table I tore apart. And these are the legs, and when I was tearing it apart, it just broke, but I still kept them because obviously I have 4. So I am going to use my miter saw here and cut them all to maybe 12 inches, but I'm going to cut them using a little bit of an angle, probably, let's see, not much, but maybe like a 10-degree angle, like maybe right there. And that way I am going to make a little plant, I am going to make a little plant stand, or like a little plant stand. So I'm going to use the four of the legs, and then another thing that I took off from the same table was these like pieces, like some of the side pieces and stuff. See, like this is solid wood. So I'm going to take these off on both ends, and then I'm going to probably cut off a little bit more so it's not as long as rectangular, but maybe keep it, I don't know, maybe about 18 inches or so. And then I'm gonna build it, so let's see how it goes. Alright, so now that I have it nicely cut to size, I am going to quickly give it a good sand on the legs as well as the top. This is me just showing you that tiny little angle cut that I made. I am sanding it because this is an old table. I just want to make sure that it's clean and any, crud or anything on it. I'm not going to mark about 1.5 inches in each corner so that I have equally measured dots. And I am going to then find the middle section of each leg. I basically just do a cross, so like from edge to edge, crisscross, and then where the lines meet, that would be the middle. I'm just going to drill a hole where I place the dots as well as in the center of each leg. I am then going to take some screws and I'm just going to start pre-drilling them right through the holes, and then we are going to attach the legs using wood glue and the screws. And basically we're just going to add some wood glue, spread it evenly on the bottom of the leg, and then when I am placing it on the screws, I'm just going to screw it on like you would any other leg, and until I have it where each leg is kind of facing outward. That is why I made a cut, about a 10-inch degree cut, so that each leg kind of has a little bit of a tilt going outward. Once everything was attached, I'm just going to give everything 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the charcoal gray. And once everything was dry, I am going to distress it using a 220 grit sandpaper and my palm sander. I'm going to focus more on the edges, but I would just want this to have a little bit more of a farmhouse look. Using my Cricut, I created a stencil that says "Grow where you are planted." I'm just going to place it right on top and start stenciling it using Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. After it was dry, to continue with the farmhouse look, I am going to lightly sand it manually with a sandpaper, and that way it'll still match the look. I am going to seal everything using a top coat by Rust-Oleum, and I should have known better. You shouldn't over brush any stenciling because it will activate the paint and it can spread. And I didn't follow my own advice, and it did spread a little bit, but it's okay. I am going to add a few of these felt pads right on the bottom of each leg. I truly love this little stool. I love it. But let me know in the comments which one is your favorite from today. I genuinely cannot answer that question. I love them all. They all have a great farmhouse style look. They can be used during multiple seasons, and I just love the way they turned out. If you are visiting for the first time, welcome. I hope you enjoy the video and I hope it inspires you to create your own DIY farmhouse decor. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I have, as always, a video and a playlist here for you to watch next. Just click on one of those. There's tons more of inspiration for you, so check them out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.